Yeah, every rapper, every rapper should drink matcha.
Matcha. Matcha.
Serious. And we're back. Oh, we are back, baby. Um, Peace and bliss. It's Terry Borderline, your hip hop visionary. And today we are going to talk about matcha. Every rapper should be drinking matcha. I'm dead ass. I'm dead serious. Every rapper should be drinking matcha. Today we're gonna be talking about matcha, and what inspired me to talk about matcha today is my good brother Sal. Shouts to Sal. You know, he runs his own nonprofit, but me and him go way back all the way to high school. He was at my wedding. Sassy was at his. You know what I'm saying? He got a nice baby on the way. He's doing good. But one of the things he asked me, and he's not the only one who asked me, but I give him credit. One of the things he asked me is like, "Yo, Terry, you need to do more videos where you show like how you're able to be you. Like you're you, and that's cool. People love you. But how are you able to be you? You know?" And it's funny because I'm naturally a teacher. I'm professionally a teacher. Shouts to TCP. Shouts to TCP, Transformative Culture Project. You know, we're teaching artists and we teach people for a living, right? Um, but it's like, I'm like, yeah, I teach people all the time, bro. Like, what are you talking? Like, my life is teaching people how to embrace the successes that I've been able to gain in my life, especially in a life where, you know, if you ask me, I wasn't designed to reach success in this system, right? Like, I'm a black man in the United States of America, living in the most expensive city in the country and possibly the world, Boston, Massachusetts. There are a lot of things against me. And could I have ended up in the streets? Sure, many of my friends have. Could I have ended up on drugs and alcohol? 1,000%. Not only did a lot of my friends get addicted to drugs, some of them passed away from overdoses and things of that nature. Some of them are still addicted to this day. Um, Thankfully, you know, me and a part of like, you know, the small percentage of us who like just by God's grace made it through. Um, we didn't get addicted to drugs. We didn't end up in the streets. Um, and you know, some of us, you know, like really got some bank to make a living. And I think that's something to be proud of. So you know, all my friends from high school or whatever, if you're still alive, you're still here, you're healthy, you're getting married now. Like shouts to my homegirl Merlinda. She just sent me the invitation to her wedding. I'm very happy for her, proud of her. I said shouts to Sal. He has a baby on the way. I think my homie Sean Simus just got married. Oh my god, shouts to him. Like, or he just got engaged. He has a beautiful, beautiful wife as well. Like, you know, Sean, if you do ever watch this, I want you to know my son reminds me so much of you, man. You know, I remember when we were kids, um, you know, you would be the one who'd get the most tight if you lost at something, right? Like we'd play football and you would be tight if you lost. You'd be like, no, right? You're very competitive. You know, my son is the same way. He does not like losing at all. And, you know, I think it's dope to watch how that translated into your life because you're winning at life, bro. And I know my son's gonna win at life. So congrats to you. But yeah, the consensus that I usually get is Terry, share more on how you're able to be you. and survive and thrive in this crazy world. And so today I'm sharing it with you. You guys can't say I didn't. And it's not the only thing. We're going to be doing many videos on the different things I'm able to use to still be happy in this life, to still navigate in this life in a world where I don't have, as I spoke in the last video, if you guys should watch it. Let me do it this way. If you guys can watch it, right? Embarrass Yourself, my first YouTube video. I talk about how, I have mass health, and um the dentists don't really respect that. The medical industry don't really respect that. It's, you might as well not have health insurance unless you get into some type of collision or something. You get some type of traumatic impact, you know? And so people like us, we fall through the cracks. We fall through the cracks. We don't get the medical support. We don't get the, oh yeah, you can just, do a checkup and that will fix your problem. No, we have to figure it out on our own. We have to, Um, and for some people, they just accept the the conviction of like, yeah, you just have to deal with your disease, which for some people it's terminal, right? And I don't believe any disease is without is beyond repair. I don't believe any person is beyond repair, right? The body naturally heals. I repeat, the body naturally heals and wants to. Sometimes we feel like we have to fight against our body to heal, and you don't. You got to actually fight with your body. You got to get to know your body and figure out how it's trying to heal and support it. And the more you support your body in that healing, the more healing you do, right? Hence the reason why, I'm able to say, "Hey, I'm not going to let y'all just take all my teeth out and then give me no recourse. I'll handle it myself." And I've dealt with a lot of pain. I've dealt with a lot of things. As I said, my tooth fell out. Check out the video. um, but I'm not helpless, and I'm not gonna. It doesn't mean I'm gonna crawl back to them and let them do whatever they want to me. I have dignity, and I'm gonna be able to heal in the way I need to heal and support my body in healing the way I do. And if you guys want to know my oral health regimen to deal with what I'm dealing with without having to have the constant pain that I would be in if I didn't use certain things, that'll be another video. I'll do that. I'll do that. And let me know in the comments if you want that video. Um I think actually, because this is on YouTube, I have to give this disclaimer. This is not medical advice. Not medical advice. Not a financial advisor. I'm not your mama, right? This is all just life experience. And you do whatever the beep you want. All right. That's it. All right. But today we're going to talk about matcha. And I'm going to give you guys, maybe like 15 to 20 reasons why every rapper should be drinking matcha. Let's go. Let's do it. There you go. That's how it should look. All right. God, I got so many damn tabs open. Okay, there it is. All right. Let me move this closer to here. All right. Every rapper should drink matcha. I'm serious. The real problem. See, the problem with the music industry, and there is a lot of problems in the music industry, but kind of like a medical doctor, right? I've started to realize many of the problems we have in this industry are symptoms of an even greater problem. And that's actually one of the reasons I created my nonprofit, Mass Spirits, right? Is this idea that there's a root cause to all the problems. So and now that I'm doing this, oh my God, that's probably going to be my next video. What is the root problem with the music industry? Because there is a root problem, but I'll build about it a little bit right here, right? Most of the problems people talk about is music nowadays doesn't sound good. Um, two, music nowadays all sounds the same. Three, artists don't get paid. Four, um, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors. And five, AI is taking over artists' roles and jobs. And believe me, all of these come from the same root cause, the same root problem. And because people act like it's not the root problem, it's the only reason why the symptoms have only grown and gotten worse. And I'll give you a hint. I'll just say it. It's the fact that we don't pay artists and give artists access, unlimited and unrestricted access to resources. Period. Period. It's a very simple problem that if we funded the artists directly and gave them unlimited and unrestricted access to music gear, to studio time, to even things like marketing and promotion, the entire arts industry would change, number one. And number two, a lot of these corporations that are so greedy, they feel like they don't have to pay artists, they would actually make more money. And I'll prove it in that video, right? In that next video, I'm going to prove it. You make more money when you fund artists. The only reason Warner is having layoffs, which that's another video I want to do, right? Warner's about to go. Only reason they're in their situation and YouTube Music is about to take over, right? Is because YouTube funds creators. It's so simple. It's so simple. But one of the things that I want to talk about for this video is how artists, because they focus so much on being able to work and make music and perform and stay creative, right? Which is another video I'm going to do. Like, what is inspiration and how do artists get inspiration? It is deeper than you think, but it's simple. And artists, because they have to navigate this industry without pay, without access to resources, they got to do what they got to do. A lot of hip hop artists deal drugs. They don't just rap about it. They actually sell drugs so they can make music. And we act like it's normal and it's okay, and it's not. It's not. That's not normal shit. There are you think the bankers probably do sell drugs to open their banks. It's neither here nor there. But you know what I'm saying? You don't see these other CEOs selling drugs just to be able to operate as a business. You know, country singers don't sell crack just to sing country music. Taylor Swift don't push weight. You know what I'm saying? She don't push weight, and she the number one, right? A lot of people like to act like with Kendrick, like, yo, Kendrick ain't Kendrick ain't got his stripes. He ain't a real blood. He ain't a real Crip. He ain't from the streets. Even though he seen somebody get shot in the head at 7 years old, growing up in Compton, California. You know what I'm saying? He don't have to be a part of the streets. Top Dog told him, yo, don't be a part of the streets, nigga. Right? Right? And that's why he's number one. Right? The streets are dead, man. That's a whole nother maybe that's a video. I'm coming up with video ideas in real time right now, right? But going back to the problem, right? This isn't the root. This is one of the symptoms. I told y'all the root. The root is lack of funding and access. But the real problem why the music industry needs a shift. 77% of popular rap songs contain substance use references, right? 77% of popular rap songs contain substance use references, linking the genre to career ending health risks and addiction. You know, I don't know why I didn't put this in the slideshow, but you know, I got to share this, right? This reminds me of the infamous Bone Thugs. I think it was either a Lazy Bone or Crazy Bone, right? Uh, where he talks about this secret meeting. Yeah, it was Crazy Bone. This secret meeting in the rap industry where they decided there was a business meeting decision created to decide to do this shift to make 77% of popular rap songs talk about substance abuse and illegal activities, right? There was a cost incentive that not permanently, because we can change it and we can heal it, but that negatively affected the industry for decades onward, right? And hip hop's only 50 years old, allegedly. You know, part of my thesis for my book is that even that is questionable, right? Um, let's watch this video real quick, and you're gonna see exactly what I'm talking about. This is by design. Commercial.
The letter is
All right.
the secret meeting that changed rap music and destroyed a generation.
Damn.
So it says, hello. After more than 20 years, I finally decided to tell the world what I witnessed in 1991, which I believe was one of the biggest turning points in popular music and ultimately American society. I have struggled for a long time weighing the pros and cons of making my story public, as I was reluctant to implicate the individuals who were present that day. So I've simply decided to leave out the names and all the details that may risk my personal well-being and that of those who were, like me, dragged into something they weren't ready for.
Damn.
Hold on, let me
So we gonna tell the story.
we gonna tell the story. We ain't scared.
You know what I'm saying? What they gonna do?
They after us, not scared.
Look, that black van.
So look, so he says, between the late 80s and early 90s, I was what you may call a decision maker with one of the more established companies in the music industry. I came to Europe in the early 80s and quickly established myself in the business. The industry was different back then, since technology and media weren't accessible to people like that, like they are today. The industry had more control over the public and had the means to influence them any way it wanted.
Right.
This may explain why in early 1991, I was invited to attend a closed-door meeting with a small group of business insiders to discuss rap music's new direction. Rap music's new direction.
Yeah.
Little did I
Rap
know
music's
we would
new
be asked to
direction.
participate in one of the most unethical and destructive business practices ever seen.
Crazy.
So this was the meeting. The meeting was held at a private residence on the outskirts of Los Angeles. I remember about 25 to 30 people were being there.
Right.
Most of them familiar faces. Speaking of those I knew, we joked about the theme of the meeting, as many of us did not care for rap and failed to see the purpose of being invited to a private meeting to discuss the future of hip-hop.
Talk to him.
Among the attendees was a small group of unfamiliar faces who stayed to themselves and made no attempt to socialize beyond their circle. Based on their behavior and formal appearances, they didn't seem to be from our industry. Our casual chatter was interrupted when we were asked to sign the confidentiality agreement, preventing us from publicly discussing the information presented during the meeting. Needless to say, this intrigued, in some cases, disturbed many of us. The agreement was only a page long, but very clear on matters and consequences, which stated that violating the terms would result in job termination immediately. We asked several people what this meeting was about and the reason for such secrecy, but could not find anyone who had the answers for us. A few people refused to sign and walked out. Nobody stopped them. I was tempted to follow, but curiosity got the best of me.
That's right.
A man who was part of the unfamiliar group collected all the agreements from us. So now it's going to get to the good part because the meeting about to start.
Talk to him, G.
It says, quickly after the meeting began, hold on 1 second.
Get your popcorn, y'all.
Popcorn, get your pistol. No,
For real, though.
quickly after this meeting began, one of the industry colleagues, who shall remain nameless like everybody else, thanked us for attending. He then gave the floor to a man who only introduced by first name and gave no other details about his personal background. I think he was the owner of the residence, but that was never confirmed. He briefly praised all of us for the success we had achieved in our industries and congratulated us for being selected as part of this small group of decision makers. At this point, I began to feel slightly uncomfortable and the strangeness of this gathering. The subject quickly changed as the speaker went on to tell us that the respective companies we represented had invested in a very profitable industry, which could become even more rewarding with our active involvement.
Damn.
He explained that the companies we worked for had invested millions into the building of privately owned prisons, and that our positions of influence in the music industry would actually impact the profitability of these investments. Then he says, I remember many of us in the group immediately looking at each other in awe and confusion. At the same time, I didn't know what a private prison was, but I wasn't the only one. Sure enough, someone asked what these prisons were and what any of this had to do with music. We were told that these prisons were built by privately owned companies who receive funding from the government based on the number of inmates.
Mm-hmm.
The more inmates, the more the government would pay these prisons.
Mm-hmm.
It was also made clear to us that since these prisons are privately owned, as they become publicly traded, we'd be able to buy shares. Most of us were taken back by this. Again, a couple of people asked what this had to do with us. At this point, my industry colleague who had first opened the meeting took the floor again and answered our questions. He told us that since our employees had become silent investors in this prison business, it was now in their interest to make sure that it remained filled. Our job would be to help make this happen by making music which promote criminal behavior, rap being the music of choice. He assured us that this would be a great situation for us because rap music was becoming an increasingly profitable market for our companies, and as employees, we'd also be able to buy.
You hear that? You hear what he just said? He just said it would be profitable. Profitable. He just said it would be profitable for them to do this with hip. Hold on. I'm gonna play it again one more time for y'all.
My industry colleague who had first opened the meeting took the floor again and answered our questions. He told us that since our employees had become silent investors in this prison business, it was now in their interest to make sure that these prisons remain filled. Our job would be to help make this happen by making music which promote criminal behavior, rap being the music of choice. He assured us
rap being the music of choice. This makes me think immediately of artists such as Lil Durk, all the way to Diddy, right? NBA Youngboy just got out of jail. Young Thug just got out of jail. There's been so many artists, so many rappers in hip hop who have gone to jail. They've gone to jail, right? They have this phenomena called the hip hop police, which the hip hop police are very real. But these RICOs were by design. These RICOs were seeds at one time that were planted by these record execs, these corporations, and these private prisons. And they created a direct pipeline from the hip hop industry to the prisons, by utilizing drugs, right? By utilizing the criminal, quote unquote, activities that people were glorifying in their music. And then it makes you think today, In 2025, Trump is president and he is going to war with the streets now. The same streets that they invested in. Trump is a businessman, right? So allegedly, because that is the president of the United States, and this is not a political statement, right? But hypothetically, as a businessman who was very much thriving in the 90s, right? Having his hands in so many pots, especially in New York City, who knows how much Trump is invested in private prisons? If somebody wants to do that research for me, like talk about it in the comments. I can't talk about it on here, right? But imagine that, having direct financial interest in private prisons, and then now you're the president, and now you're going to war against the result of what you could have created in the past. Shouts to Hocus for Fifth. He's doing the Drop Your Flag challenge, and I feel it's an effort and a movement. If you guys don't know Hocus for Fifth, definitely check him out. He's doing the Drop Your Flag challenge, where he's encouraging young gang members to drop their flag. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. This was all a trap. They call it a trap for a reason. They call it trap music for a reason. It's a trap. It's meant to put you in prison. It's meant to turn you into an informant. Not gang culture, right? Like there's a whole alternative history and truth behind gang culture, where community revolution in progress, right? Like a lot of these gangs started off as political movements and groups. They weren't even gang banging or selling drugs, but there's a concerted effort to condition gang members to sell drugs, get on drugs, and do violent acts against one another. This is not conspiracy, which we all know conspiracy means to breathe together. This is factual. And what Crazy Bone is alleging right now, at the time, for sure, was considered conspiracy. But in 2025, you can't say that everything he just talked about didn't come into fruition. It 1,000% did, right? Whether that, hypothetical or mythological business meeting actually happened. I like to compare it to the Willie Lynch papers. Willie Lynch papers are a forgery. But if you read the Willie Lynch papers, a lot of those tactics and strategies of conditioning Black people to be slaves and have a slave mentality persist today, right? And so where are your sources, bro? Right? I'm always address you guys every video because you guys exist everywhere. Less so now, but you guys exist everywhere. I implore you to take the message. Forget the citations. Take the message, and then look around you and see if that message rings. And if it rings true, then take it. It'll help you. All right. Let's continue.
This earlier hurried out to meet us and reminded us that we had signed an agreement and would suffer the consequences of speaking out about this publicly, or even those who attended the meeting.
Damn.
I asked him, why was he involved with something so corrupt? And he replied, it's bigger than the music business and nothing we can do. And, no, it's bigger than the music business and nothing we want to challenge without risking consequences. We all protested as we walked back into the house. I remember word for word the last thing he said. It's out of my hands now. Just remember you signed an agreement. He then closed the door behind him. The men rushed us to our car and actually waited until we drove off the property.
Damn.
So this meeting, bro.
Now that's a lot for a meeting right there.
Oh yeah, definitely. And this person later on, he said, this person actually ended up leaving the music industry after this happened. A few years after this, he ended up leaving the music industry.
Okay.
And he said he just over the years he just felt guilty because he said as he sat back, these plans come to a reality
Over 2 decades.
He sat back and was like, wow, they really pulled it off.
Yeah.
They really pulled this off. He was like, they were told not to sign any more political rappers, any more rappers that had messages in their
No
music.
positivity.
It was all to be gangster rap music that they promoted and
So
put out.
I think that's good enough for me to get my point across, right? They switched the narrative for hip hop, a genre that was all about, you know, anti-establishment and pro the people, you know. It became all about drugs, alcohol, sex, crimes. I want you guys to know this is by design, right? And I want you guys to know that, like, I'm not talking about this in order to just, oh, conspiracy, da 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 da. We have a solution. One of the solutions is matcha. Right? One of the solutions is matcha. So going back to my point, 70% of popular rap songs contain substance use references, linking the genre to career-ending health risks and addiction. Coffee's hidden costs: rapid energy spike and crash, addiction and dependence on tour, performance killing anxiety and jitters, and disrupted sleep and recovery. And mind you, you know, this matcha is being compared to coffee because most Americans drink coffee. I drank coffee heavily for a long time. And I just recently made the switch to matcha for health reasons. Um, but you know, matcha is better than the lean. Matcha is better than the alcohol. Matcha is better than the weed. I repeat, matcha is better than the weed. We're taking a lot of substances to get by, but they're hurting us, right? I'm showing you this video today so then we can actually heal while we get the things that we're looking for from these substances. Um, and that's another video I got to do about the sacred herbs and how, you know, they gave us poisons instead of what heals us, right? All right, let's move on to the next slide. Energy, right? Longer enduring energy. 6 through 8 hours of sustained energy. Matcha gives you 6 through 8 hours of sustained energy. Unlike coffee's rapid spike and crash, matcha provides smooth, steady energy release, right? It has an amino acid, I'm pretty sure, L-theanine. Let's be right and exact real quick. Hold on. L-theanine. Yep, an amino acid. Making sure I stay right and exact with y'all. L-theanine, which for those of you who don't know, amino acids are the building blocks of proteins, right? Proteins help operate in your body and do so many powerful functions that keep you happy, healthy, and strong, right? So you need amino acids, right? The reason you eat beef, chicken, pork, whatever, is because you're getting protein. Those proteins have amino acids in them. Matcha has a really good one called L-theanine. It slows caffeine absorption for consistent performance all day, right? And so if you compare the two, coffee in the first hour gives you a rapid spike. You're like, boom, I got energy. Matcha is more of a gentle rise. But by the second hour through the fourth hour, you get the jitters. You start to get jittery, right? One of the reasons I stopped drinking coffee was that it would make me grind my teeth, especially at night, you know, clench my jaw a lot. And that creates a disease or a condition called bruxism, I think, where it's like you're grinding your teeth so much, it causes bone loss, right? Which is what I'm dealing with. And so for those of you who don't have bone loss, but you're drinking coffee every day and you're getting the jitters, you're grinding your teeth, there are consequences to that. I implore you, chill out. By hour 2 to 4, with matcha, you have a smooth peak, right? I'm about at 2 to 4 right now. I'm at a smooth peak. I feel very energized. Between hour 4 to 6, you get the energy crash. You start to feel sleepy, tired. And most people who drink coffee, they drink more coffee. I remember I used to have a big old mason jar filled with coffee, like I do with this matcha, and I would always have to make 2 of them because when one ran out, I'd have to pull the other because I knew I was going to get sleepy. Matcha gives you sustained energy. My glass of matcha could break right now, and although I'd be a little sad, right? I would still pretty much have energy for the day. I would not have to worry about it, right? Um, I don't even necessarily even have to eat as much because I have that much energy, right? Though I do say, like, because matcha does burn a lot of energy too, it's important to eat with matcha because it will push your body beyond its limits, and it feels so good. You feel so normal, you don't realize it. And so you do still have to do the normal things to sustain yourself. Drink water, eat good food. Um, Between hours 6 to 8, you get fatigue, you crash, right? You're done. Whereas with matcha, you get a gentle decline. I could drink matcha 10 minutes before I go to sleep and actually sleep and have a good sleep, even though it gave me energy throughout the whole day. It's perfect for marathon studio sessions. It's perfect for marathon studio sessions. Um, so for my rappers and artists who do 8 to 10 hour sessions, right? I think the longest I've done straight is 12 hours, right? Mass spirits, we do serial sessions. So, we'll do uh, yes.
What does mysterious mean?
Mysterious means something that is unknown, right? It means something that's unknown.
And
It's a mystery.
gigantic means something is very, very, very big.
What?
Gigantic
Gigantic means
Yeah.
something is very, very big.
Yeah.
Are those vocab words you learned today?
Hmm?
Are those vocabulary words you learned today?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad you learned them. I'm working right now. Do you think you could give me some privacy so I can finish working? I'm on video. See? You want to say hi? You can say hi. You can say hi real quick. Here, come here. Say hi.
Hi.
What do you want to say
Hi.
to the people?
I'm good now. and I like my and I look and we got my favorite toy, my Spider-Man one.
Yeah. That's awesome. All right, now say bye to them.
Bye.
Wave. They can't see your hand.
Bye.
There you go. All right. Love you, baby boy. Can you close the door, please? Thank you. But yeah, for my artists, my rappers who are like, yeah, I wanna do a 12-hour session, right? With Mass Spirits, we'll do serial sessions where it's like, Monday we're doing 12 hours. Saturday we're doing 10 hours. Sunday we're doing 10 hours. Monday we're doing 10 hours. Back to back to back can be exhausting. Matcha helps with that. It tames the caffeine so it doesn't do damage, but still gives you energy, right? Calm alertness, right? Coffee's problem, it can ruin your take, your set, and your flow. With Matcha's solution, you can nail every take and own every stage. Coffee's problem, it has performance killing anxiety, spikes your adrenaline, triggers jitters and shakes, increases performance anxiety, and it's especially bad before live shows. Matcha solution, it gives you calm alertness. The L-theanine counteracts caffeine jitters. No jitters. It reduces and mind you, I know this probably sound like a commercial right now. Yo, Terry, are you about to sell us with a matcha brand at the end of this video? I don't sell matcha, right? I don't. This is not a sponsored video. If anybody wants to sponsor me for matcha, I think that'd be pretty cool. But but this is not a sponsored video. This is how matcha genuinely changed my life for the better. And I think that's important to disclaim, right? Um, Matcha solution, calm alertness. The L-theanine counter caffeine jitters. It reduces anxiety while maintaining focus. It promotes alpha brain wave activity, right? That's the meditative state. And it gives you smooth performance under pressure. And in the center, you see Lil Jon here, right? Because Lil Jon is somebody who's had a similar story to a lot of our rappers and artists who grew up in a culture that celebrated drinking and doing drugs. And he watched it damage his body and he had to pivot. Right? And we're gonna see why he pivoted in a second. Hey, Lil Jon, why you pivot?
When you lay off the alcohol, you come out of that fog, and it's like everything is clearer. Because if you think about it, I was drinking every weekend, so I never fully got over the drinking. Like, I would drink a bottle of 42 a night.
Jesus. So you waited to 50 to stop drinking?
Man, why you judging yourself? You still drinking anyway. I'm the party guy, and I gotta drink with everybody. If I turn down a shot, they were like, "Bro, come on, man."
Yeah.
So for a while, like a year or two, I had this constant like discomfort in my side, and I didn't know what it was. So I have inflammation in my gut. So I'm always constantly getting over the hangover or my body is still trying to recover. So I never am recovering. It had been like 6 months, and I was like, I'm good. I'm just gonna not drink no more. I was like, 6 months. I was like, nah. Then I was like, maybe I go 9 months. Then I went to a year, and I was like, when I got to the year mark, I was like, I'm good. I don't even need to drink no more. I like the way that felt. I don't know how much time I got. I want to enjoy my life. I want to enjoy my life. I want to do stuff that makes me happy. My legacy is gonna be all about positivity, because every step of the way, it's been, Crunk was positive. It was a positive release. It was all partying based initially, but it wasn't like I was saying, go do a drive-by on the ops. You know what I mean? It was just like, hey, go release, turn up. Now in my latter years, it's meditation, mindfulness, get therapy, fellas. I'm gonna tell everybody out there, get therapy.
That's right.
Get a therapy. If you're going through it, you should not be left to your own devices to deal with some serious issues. Sometimes you need to talk to someone that's a qualified person.
Right? Congrats to Lil Jon, y'all. Can we give a round of applause for Lil Jon? God damn. Shouts to Lil Jon, y'all. I want to show you guys something. You know, not only did Lil Jon change his life for the better and stop drinking, he's doing meditation music now, right? He dropped a meditation album, right? Like, hold on, let's click one of these and we'll do YouTube videos. I'm like, y'all have ads. Look at this, man.
Do you feel busy, stressed, overworked? Sometimes life just overwhelms us. This is a guided meditation that will help you discover deep relaxation and inner harmony.
Man, yo, round of applause for my homie, my good brother. You know what I'm saying? Lil Jon. That's doing the work. That's healing, man. That's healing right there. Not only did he heal himself, now he's on a mission to heal others. So for that, we give you a round of applause. All right. And so let's get back to the slides. Lil Jon isn't the only one, right? J. Cole got caught up in the culture of drinking and substance abuse, and he had to pivot.
There's things that I beat in my life, like things that I had to like overcome just to like be a better person for myself. Like, yo, I don't like the fact that I'm doing this. Let me stop doing it. But guess what? It's not just as easy as like, oh, let me stop. No, it's hard. You know what I mean? And those things I attack head on, like putting myself in situations where it's like, let's say drinking, right? I'll just stop drinking. It's not that I won't drink. Like if it's your birthday,
we're gonna
I'm
toast.
with you.
Yeah.
Cole, have a drink. I do it. It's not like, no, I just don't drink. But I noticed I was in a point in my life where it's like, I felt like I had to. Like whenever I was going out, it was just natural. Oh, just let me get a drink. Let me get a drink. We on tour every day. Let's get a drink. Which seemed inconsequential to me, right?
You know, shouts to J. Cole. We haven't seen him in a bit since the whole Drake Kendrick beef, and I do feel like that really hurt him. You know, I implore everybody to listen to his podcast that he dropped last year, where he talks about his journey as an artist. And he explains that, like, you know, he reads every comment and he really takes being the best MC to heart. And so when Kendrick did what he did, Drake did what he did, I do think it really hurt him because J. Cole was on a run before all that shit went down. And I would argue he's one of the most humanitarian MCs to ever live, right? Everybody can focus on like, yo, who got bars, who's the illest, who's this, who's that. And I'm sure J. Cole don't give a fuck about being a humanitarian in terms of the title, right? He's probably like, yo, I just want to be the nastiest MC. I'm the nicest, right? But bro, J. Cole is for real, the most humanitarian MC. He is humane. He actually cares about the culture. He cares about the people. He cares about the art. Probably gonna do a whole video on that at some point. So thank you, J. Cole, and just know the game needs you. You haven't been here for a while, and don't think we don't miss you. We do. We feel that void, and we can't wait for you to come back, bro. We can't wait for you to come back and settle that shit with Cam, because you know he's trying to make you look bad out here, and we know you one of the realists, right? Speaking of realists, right? One of the realists, Nipsey Hussle, broke down why he stopped smoking weed. Right?
Watch how Nipsey Hussle explains how his life got better and how he became smarter after cutting out weed and focusing more on his work and businesses.
When you came in here today, you said you haven't smoked in 5 months.
Yeah.
Either. So what does that do for you? And when do you feel like you could just give it up permanently?
I never want to say never, because I get something out of smoking weed sometime, but I think anything in excess turn into a liability. And even for me, like, you know, I got an intense promo campaign. You know, I gotta be on camera, I gotta be on time, I gotta be, you know, I gotta be able to think sharp. So when it comes to like going out to the public and representing my product, I don't want to be. And even in business, you know, you come in there smelling like weed, whether they say it or not, they hold it against you. They think they got a little edge on you if they don't smoke. It ain't even you're a criminal thing. It's that I think quicker than you. I'm more focused than you. I got more discipline than you.
That is so real. As a person, I've been smoking weed since I was 13, and I finally quit this year. And Nipsey is 1,000% on the nose, right? Like, there are so many interactions I've had with people where I could feel that change in energy, where people know, like, oh yeah, he smoked. Like, you know what I'm saying? He talk a big game, but you know what I'm saying? His mind ain't 100% clear. And you know, like me being the type of person I am, where you know, I'm very like, nah, like if I have to overachieve, I will when people doubt me. I'm used to being the underdog, you know, having to perform in spite of this thing that is actually slowing down my performance, like smoking was. It made no sense. I had to just let it go, because when you let it go, you just go faster. You go farther. You go faster and you go farther. Now, does this mean I don't engage with cannabis anymore? No. Cannabis is still one of the most healing herbs in the world. In my matcha, I have RSO, Rick Simpson oil, right? It's more affordable than the flower. It does more healing for the body. When people say weed cures cancer, they're talking about RSO. Smoking does not cure cancer, but RSO does, right? And it has a whole, like, that's another video, right? It has a whole host of benefits that we could build on why smokers should be using RSO, Rick Simpson oil. But right now we're staying focused on matcha. So salute to Nipsey. He's another person, you know, that void will never be filled. Now, here's some science. Here's some interesting statistics on this, right? There was a study called Dying to be Famous, done by dang it. I had the medical, hold on. I might have the name of the study. I don't have the name of the institution that did the study right now. But anyways, Dying to be Famous. This is a public health research, right? Dying to be Famous. Retrospective cohort study of rock and pop star mortality and its association with adverse childhood experiences, right? They did a study on why so many musicians take substances, right? And how it affects them. And they realized it was associated to a lot of the traumas we deal with as children, right? So it says objectives: rock and pop fame is associated with risk taking, substance use, and premature mortality. Hence the 27 Club, right? The idea that um, many artists are like destined to be to pass away by 27, right? Kurt Cobain passed away at 27. I think Jimi Hendrix passed away at 27. So on and so forth, right? It's a common theme of artists passing away at 27, and a lot of it stems from substance abuse, right? So we examine relationships between fame and premature mortality and test how such relationships vary with type of performer, e.g., solo or band member, and nationality, and whether cause of death is linked with pre-fame adverse childhood experiences. Design a retrospective cohort analysis based on biological data. An actuarial methodology compares post-fame mortality to matched general populations. Cox survival and logistic regression techniques examine risk and protective factors for survival and links between adverse childhood experiences and cause of death, respectively. And this was the study was done in North America and Europe. And the participants were 1,489 rock and pop stars reaching fame between 1956 and 2006. So that's a huge window from Elvis, right? From Elvis to XXX Tentacion. I mean, I think XXX was a little after 2006, but this comprehensive study basically broke down how 100 out of 1,000 musicians die of overdose. And to oversimplify it, right? That's like 10 out of 100. That's 10% of artists. 1 in 10, right? If you simplify it even more, 1 in 10 artists or musicians. And if you're an artist or musician watching this video, right? That's you, right? That's 1 in 10 of the people watching this video who are artists or musicians are likely to transition from an overdose. That's one too many for me. And that's one of my main motivations for making this video, right? And this is not theory or conspiracy. This is fact. This is a epidemic going on in our community right now, and we got to do our best to get through it. And I want to make it clear, though I've quit smoking and I'm not really much of a drinker, right? I'm kind of like J. Cole. If we're having shots or there's a wine glass, I'll have some. I'm not necessarily the sobriety guy, right? And so like shouts to my sobriety folks and the journey of being addicted and gaining sobriety. But know that this is not coming from that angle of me saying everybody should just live the sober life. I'm genuinely, as a person who has I've had LSD, I've had DMT, I've had weed, right? I've had mushrooms, I've had ayahuasca, right? I've had so many entheogens, which I implore musicians to explore as well. But as a person who has tried many, many substances, I'm telling you, matcha is a game changer. All right. So next slide is grow smarter, sharper, and faster. So this is what Nipsey was talking about. He put the weed down and he started growing smarter. He started thinking sharper. He started moving faster in important business meetings. If you're an artist and you plan on being an entrepreneur, you plan on being a business owner, you plan on taking it to the next level, right? You know, one of the things that we're going to be talking about eventually too is the creator economy and how we are no longer in the old paradigm. We will no longer be looking for jobs. You will no longer be looking for labeled deals. You will no longer, this is the economy now, the creator economy. YouTube is the economy now, right? And so it's like, if you want to survive this shift, you got to grow smarter, you got to grow sharper, and you got to be faster for it. You got to be able to wear multiple hats at once, right? And so this goes a little deeper on the L-theanine and caffeine, right? The scientifically proven combination for peak cognitive performance, clinically shown to improve sustained attention, accuracy, and reaction time. It gives you laser sharp focus. That's why you see me focused right now. It's proven to improve sustained attention and accuracy, especially in high stress situations like live performances and complex studio situations. Sometimes when I'm in the studio, I feel like I'm in I used to work in the restaurant service industry, right? And it's like being in the kitchen, right? And when cooks are doing this and cooks are doing that, and you got 10 orders here, and you got to seat 5 tables. Music can feel like that sometimes. How do you navigate that during a live show or a studio situation? Matcha. Get your matcha, and you'll be able to stay locked in when it matters most. Lock in your lyrics. Clinical studies show matcha improves episodic memory and attention, crucial for recalling complex lyrics, chord progressions, and arrangements on demand. Never forget a bar again. Mind you, when I smoked heavily, I would forget my bars all the time. I have this like slight executive order function, whatever, where it's like, you tell me, hey, Terry, it's 378. And then I'll say, oh, it's 387, right? I flip it around. We call that dyslexic, but it's really executive order disorder or whatever, right? And matcha has cleared that up for me. I remember my dreams. I remember all my lyrics. I never mess up now. I really never mess up now. And I've actually been memorizing my music in real time. So I'll write my song and then I'll have to like record that day. But one thing I'll give to my artists and musicians is your recordings always sound better memorized than when it's read off of a phone or a page. Trust me. It always sounds better memorized than if you're reading it off of a phone or a page. And so I challenged myself to start memorizing all my songs before I record them. And if I'm writing the song that day at the studio, I'm memorizing it that day at the studio. Sometimes it'll take me 10 to 20 minutes, 30 minutes tops, because, you only have so much time in the studio. And I will remember a whole song. Matcha has been helping me with that, along with a few other things, right? Cordyceps, lion's mane, reishi, right? The matcha has been a huge help. Unlock your creative flow. Alpha brainwave activation. Shouts to Capital Steez. I put a nice picture of him there, right? He got his third eye going. L-theanine, which is abundant in matcha, boosts alpha brainwaves. That's the brainwave state when you meditate, right? One of the quotes that I learned when I first started getting into spirituality is that the mind truly never rests, right? Like you wake up in the rising, you get to your day, and then when you go to sleep, you're dreaming, right? Or you're thinking about what you're going to do tomorrow. But your mind, even though your body's resting, your mind never catches a break. And this lack of rest compounds over time. And that's what creates fatigue. The alpha brainwave state is associated with meditation. And meditation is truly the only time your mind is able to rest. I repeat, meditation is the only time your mind, your brain is truly able to rest. Matcha facilitates this process without you having to actively sit down and meditate. All right? It says the brain state strongly associated with relaxed wakefulness and creative flow. This is the same brain state meditation aims to achieve, but matcha gets you there while keeping you sharp and energized. The secret weapon for marathon writing sessions and innovative production, right? So you really want to lock in and you want to be creative, drink some matcha. Break through the mental blocks, generate new ideas effortlessly, achieve creative immersion, and experience effortlessness. Experience effortlessness. Dominate every session. Flow state for long sessions. Matcha induces a scientifically documented flow state, ideal for staying completely immersed in writing, producing, and recording, right? Like, what is the flow state, right? For those of you who aren't artists, you might not be familiar with the flow state. I'll explain it real quick, right? The flow state, is after you gain momentum, and we're going to build about that at a certain point too. After you gain momentum in your creativity, through inertia, the law of inertia, your creativity starts running on its own. It doesn't require manual energy or activation to pull it. It starts going on its own. And it's almost like channeling spiritually. You end up being in a flow state. Scientifically, that's called the alpha brainwave state, right? Both alpha and theta, right? And when you're in this alpha and theta brainwave state, you are able to create more because you're pulling information from the ethers. You're pulling information from the collective consciousness and you're channeling it through yourself, right? How I'm building right now, not having to read, not having to follow a script, not having to, think about the stresses of the day or have brain farts. I'm in a flow state right now. That's allowing me to do this, right? Most creatives are desiring to achieve a flow state as soon as possible and as quick as possible. Going back to what I was saying about memory, memorizing your lyrics helps achieve this flow state. Matcha helps achieve this flow state. All right, let's continue. All right. Ideal for staying completely immersed in writing, producing, and recording. You get zero creative burnout, no mid-session crashes, sustained focus for 6 to 8 hours, and complete mental immersion. Stay in the zone from first idea to final mix. You get to nail the perfect take. Calm alertness reduces performance anxiety. The result is more precise delivery, tighter execution, and fewer takes needed. Less time equals more music, right? So if you can't afford 10, 12 hours of studio time, you can only afford 1 hour. You're going to maximize that hour with matcha. I promise you. High pressure precision. The L-theanine caffeine combination is proven to improve reaction time and accuracy under stress, critical for live recording and tight deadlines. Perform when it counts. Protect your instrument, right? And by your instrument, I mean your vocal cords, right? And this is super important, right? Coffee is not good for performance. Neither is smoking, neither is alcohol, right? So vocal protection, your voice is your career. Your voice is your career. I don't know who needs to hear that, but your voice, your throat chakra is your career. Anti-inflammatory properties. Matcha's potent anti-inflammatory compounds help soothe the throat and protect vocal cords from the strain of recording and performing. It's essential for singers and rappers. It reduces throat irritation, supports vocal recovery, and maintains vocal clarity. Stage stamina. It's energy that lasts all night. There's 17% increase of fat oxidation, right? So for those of you who want to lose weight, who feel like I could never lose this weight, it's so stubborn, you're considering Ozempic, matcha. Get some matcha, man. Consuming matcha before physical activity boosts endurance and stamina. Ideal for maintaining high energy through demanding performances and long tour schedules. I would argue this is also what makes you sharper with it. Omega-3 fats help maintain your sharpness when it comes to thinking and moving fast. It's food for the brain. Reduced subjective fatigue, right? You don't feel tired. And that's why I said it's important to drink water and eat, because even though you don't feel tired, you may still very well be tired, and you do need to eat food, you need to drink water, and you need to sleep early. Get your hours in, right? But you won't feel the fatigue. And I think that's important for creativity and performance. Supports muscle recovery. Man, the way I be banging out these pull-ups and these push-ups now, and I don't even feel tired, y'all. I used to need assisted pull-ups before I had matcha. Now that I have matcha, I do unassisted pull-ups every single day. I've gotten in the best shape of my life. It enhances physical presence, right? Y'all hear me on here. I got energy. Perform harder, longer, and stronger. Unmatched antioxidant power, right? This is what stops cancer, right? This is what helps you not age, right? Cellular protection, defense at the molecular level. EGCG, which is very prominent in green tea, and matcha, which is like a Japanese green tea, neutralizes free radicals, reducing oxidative stress and cellular damage. This is also why workouts are so much better, because why your muscles hurt from working out is because of lactic acid that is produced from oxidative stress. So if you have high dairy intake, then you're going to feel that lactic acid even more. Lactic being the key word, meaning, milk, right? But it's produced from oxidative stress. So if you have matcha, it counteracts this oxidative stress that produces lactic acid in your muscles, and therefore you don't feel the pain that comes from working out, that soreness from working out. You don't feel it. You don't. I worked out today. I don't feel it. It reduces chronic disease risk and slows cellular aging, right? Our musicians and our rappers, and you especially watching and listening to this video, deserve to live past 27. Long-term investment. Your future self will thank you. Health benefits compound over time, sustaining your career for decades. 137 times more EGCG than regular green tea. So EGCG is abundant in green tea. It's why people drink green tea. Matcha is like a super green tea. It has 137 times more. The only thing I would compare to matcha is Kenyan black tea, which is something that you should totally check out, because that's right up the alley. Because you consume the entire powdered leaf. And this gives you cardiovascular support, your heart, right? For somebody like me who suffers from bone loss and gum disease, which puts you at risk for cardiovascular disease. Matcha is going to prevent that, right? So F you, dentist, I don't need you, right? Brain health protection, right? Going back to what I was saying about the omega-3s, right? It helps you think. Mental health matters, right? When we were looking at that study that was talking about how childhood trauma seems to be one of the core reasons so many musicians get into substance abuse, drugs, and alcohol. It's you can center it to mental health, and matcha reduces the mental health risk. Stress hormone reduction. Lower cortisol levels. Scientific studies confirm matcha helps lower cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone, critical for managing high pressure demands in the music industry and just life. Life can be stressful. Matcha helps you handle that stress. Reduced chronic stress, better emotional regulation, improved stress response, and mental resilience. Even in this video, my son interrupted a couple times, and I love my son. And sometimes when people you love interrupt you, that cortisol spikes and you may stressfully respond. Like, yo, get out. I'm working. And you don't want to hurt people you love. I have matcha and I don't feel the instinct to do that, even though my cortisol level may rise. I can still tell my son, I love you. Things are cool. You interrupted daddy while he's working. Can you give me some space? And it helps me be a better father, helps me be a better husband. Better rest and recovery, improved sleep quality. Despite containing caffeine, long-term studies show matcha can actually improve subjective sleep quality. Its stress-reducing properties calm the mind, leading to better rest. Sleep is when your body and voice recover. Better sleep equal better performance. Rest better, perform better, repeat. Enhanced sleep quality, faster mental recovery, reduced sleep anxiety, and better next day performance. Hip hop leaders are switching. Right? And this is the thing where it's like, we think it's hip hop to drink alcohol. We think it's hip hop to smoke weed. We think it's hip hop to do other crazy drugs like cocaine and heroin, whatever, right? Newsflash, it's not, right? I spoke in the last video, which you guys should still totally check out, embarrass yourself, about how Drake doesn't practice Vipassana meditation, right? And that's likely what, made him lose the battle against Kendrick. But where I can give Drake a round of applause, is he actually started his own, or he invested in a matcha brand, a matcha bar, right? And Drake's investment signals a major shift in music culture towards healthier performance and enhancing alternatives. DJ E11, who's a legendary hip-hop producer, he's worked with artists like J. Cole. He sells his own organic matcha brand, right? And I have a hunch, right? Not even a hunch. I know why Drake is invested in matcha. Because in order to perform how he does, do the amount of tours that he does, in order to even endure the battle that he had with one of the greatest, if not the greatest rapper in the world right now, Kendrick Lamar, he had to drink matcha. He needed the energy to do the long studio hours, to be there every single day while he was on tour, while writing dope songs, right? Like, I was Team Kendrick all day, and I'm still Team Kendrick. But let's be real. Like, when he dropped Family Matters, I was like, oh. I was like, yo, Kendrick might be in trouble. That was one of the most incredible songs I've ever heard. And I'm sure matcha had a part to do with it. Now, here's a video of Drake speaking about his health journey and some of the things he dealt with his stomach issues. This was around the same year he invested in this matcha brand. And so you can put two and two together.
I probably won't make music for a little bit. I'm gonna be honest. I got some other things I need to do for some other people that I made promises to, but I probably won't make music for a little bit. I'm gonna be real with you. I need to focus on my health first and foremost, and I'll talk about that soon enough. Nothing crazy, but just like, I want people to be healthy in life, and I've been having the craziest problems for years with my stomach. I'll just say it what it is. Now I'm saying I was gonna say it, I'll say it now. So I need to focus on my health, and I need to get right, and I'm gonna do that.
Shouts to Drake for getting healthy, and mind you, I see videos every now and then where, he's still drinking and stuff. If you're watching this, Drake, here's my message to you right now. Like, bro, let the liquor go. For real. Where, like, you went through what you went through with the whole battle, but we care about you too in hip hop, right? We care about you too in hip hop. You invested in matcha, bro. You know what you got to do, man. Keep drinking that matcha, man. Put the alcohol down, and you'll come back even stronger. I promise you. Round of applause for Drake, man. Round of applause for Drake. Survive the grind. The ultimate road fuel. For touring musicians, matcha is a game changer. It effectively combats the fatigue from irregular sleep and constant travel without the inevitable energy crash of coffee. Typical tour challenges include irregular sleep schedules, constant travel in time zones, back-to-back performances. Shouts to Larizi, he's on his first tour. Brother, if you're watching this, grab some matcha. Grab some matcha. The OGs probably ain't gonna tell you, right? They might want you to drink, smoke, da 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 da. Bro, you're a prodigy, bro. Drink some matcha. You'll be able to outperform everybody else. Hotel rooms, tour buses, and high energy shows every night. Matcha Solutions, sustained energy for travel days, no crash before showtime, supports mental clarity across time zones, portable and easy to prepare anywhere, and consistent performance every night. Whether you're on a bus, plane, or in a green room, Matcha keeps you ready. Better value per cup. Now, this is for those of you who are like, yo, I can't afford matcha. Maybe you looked on Amazon or you saw it in Whole Foods, or maybe you go to Starbucks every day and you're like, it's too expensive. The coffee is way more cost effective. It's affordable. It's not, right? The best way to think about it is matcha is more concentrated. You need less for it to take you farther. A little goes a long way. Coffee requires more. So you have to buy more coffee in order to sustain you. And you spend more with coffee in the long run as a result. While high quality matcha costs more upfront, it's often cheaper per cup because you need far less. Serving size comparison, coffee might be 5 to 10 grams per cup. Typical bag is 250 grams a bag, and servings per bag equal 25 to 50 cups. But for matcha, you get 1 to 2 grams per cup. A bag equals 30 grams, right? And then the servings per size per bag equals 15 to 30 cups. And mind you, I buy a pound. I buy my matcha by the pound. I'll show you guys where I get it right now. Right? It's super affordable. I highly suggest it, right? Let me pop it up for you right here. Right? Here's where I buy my matcha. I go to Etsy. Etsy is a great place to get holistic herbs at a reasonable rate, right? Let me see if it says the name of the store. I don't think it says the name of the seller. Yeah, it says DIY Store USA. That's the seller. Everybody's satisfied with the product. It's pure matcha. It's the strongest I've ever had. It does the work, right? It does the work, right? So don't say I didn't tell you where I got mine. I gave it to you. I gave you guys the game. I'm going to always give you guys the game because I love you guys, right? The complete picture, energy and performance, sustained 6 to 8 hour energy, no crash or jitters, calm alertness, enhanced endurance, fat oxidation, reduced fatigue, health and wellness. It gives you 137 times more EGCG antioxidants. It protects your cells, lowers cortisol, gives you better sleep quality, and it gives you vocal protection. Cognitive and creative. It gives you laser sharp focus, improved memory, alpha brainwave activation, creative flow state, and better reaction time. And for your career as a musician, it's cost effective. It's celebrity endorsed, right? There's social proof of it working. It's a healthy alternative to the drug substances plaguing our community, and it's perfect for the studio and tour life. And if you want to do this for a long time, like Lil Jon, like Juicy J, like LL Cool J, it gives you long-term career sustainability. Every single benefit is backed by peer-reviewed scientific research. And I'll put it in the description for the where's your citations, bro? I'm going to put the link to the citations in the description, all listed out, right? These are all backed by scientific studies, right? And with that, that concludes today's video. Every rapper should be drinking matcha. I'm serious. I am so serious. Please care for your health. Drink some matcha. It's affordable. It's healthy. It keeps you energized. Keeps you going, and it'll keep you good. So that concludes today's video. I'm Terry Borderline. If you guys want to see more from me, check out my other video. Boom. Embarrass yourself. I'm serious. The series is going to be called I'm Serious. I actually really like that. And check out my new beat tape. I have a beat tape, Soundlines Volume 2. I have a BeatStars. I'll link it in the description. Listen to it. If you like a beat, it's yours. It's also the beat that's playing in one of the beats that's playing in my theme song. And so if you like the music that I incorporate in this, I make music. I'm a producer. I also do consultations. I do production consultations. I do marketing consultations. I do splits consultations. But then also, you know, just let me know what you need and I'll probably be able to consult you on it. I produce many things. I produce events. I produce albums. I produce EPs. And I produce beats. So if you need something produced, I also produce film. Right? If you need something produced, holla at me. I'm a teacher. I teach with the Transformative Culture Project. I'm a teaching artist specifically. And so if you need a class, holla at me. And then, of course, I run my nonprofit, Mass Spirits, which is about getting resources and access to artists who are in underserved communities. And so if you don't necessarily have the funds for any of those things, but you're looking to still work with your boy, keep in touch. Let me know you're interested in Mass Spirits. We'll put you on a list